3, 2, 1. Hello everybody, my name is Natia and welcome back to Lady and the Trash. It's been more than 1 month since I published my last video, I know, but I had exams and then I went on vacation and then Dark Season 3 came out and then my birthday, so yeah. Here we are now. But I'm back with a completely useless video which took me ages to write because I had to watch 12 whole series. But it's something I've wanted to do for a while, so let's start. If you're not familiar with it, the GMMTV UPRINCE series is a compilation of 12 mini-series released between 2016 and 2017. And it features like every GMMTV actor or actress ever. The concept is very basic. Every series is about a prince of the university IUCA, which stands for International University of Central Asia, and his love story. This is like a combination of any trope you could think of. Of course, the ranking is solely based on my personal preferences. So basically, the more I like a trope, the higher the trope, the series with that trope in is. This is a completely subjective ranking, just for fun. If you don't know, every series has 4 episodes, except for the first one, which is the Handsome Cowboy, that has 8, and the last one, the Ambitious Boss, that has 5. I watch them in chronological order, but you can watch them in the order you prefer and even skip the ones that you don't want to see. The only 2 that were very connected, according to me, were the Extroverted Humanist and the Single Lawyer. So I recommend to watch these 2 in order, but for the rest, just do as you please. But now let's start with the last place and the one that I would never recommend to anyone. In the first couple of shows I will be pretty mean, I'm sorry, but then I swear that I will also say positive things. So my least favorite was the Handsome Cowboy. The main characters are Siptit and Prikeng. Yes, I gave it a 2 out of 10. I mean, is this a surprise to anyone? I don't think so. This has 8 whole episodes and basically nothing interesting happens. It's the story of this girl who's still in love with her childhood crush, but he turned out to be a bad boy and a playboy, but she likes him anyway, I guess. The rest of the story is just a collection of basic and boring romantic scenes in which he promises to be a better person, but still ends up being an asshole like every single episode. He's jealous and possessive in a completely unhealthy way. All he does is forcing kisses on her and almost raping her like 3 or 4 times in total. And she is a complete idiot who still forgives him after everything he's done, just because she still likes him for whatever reason. Of course, there's a second male lead who's like the nicest person on earth. He's cute and sweet, but he gets friend-zoned. This is not really a spoiler. I forgot to mention those will be completely spoiler-free. If not, I will tell you. But come on, this is not a spoiler. This is like the most obvious thing ever. I mean, not even 2006 K-dramas were that bad with this kind of tropes. Girls, hear me out. If in real life a guy acts like Siptit, try to have nothing to do with him. And if he insists, call the police. This is not romantic. Okay, it's not. Next. So at position number 11, we have the Absolute Economist, with the main characters being Teddy and Chongping. 5. This is a 5 out of 10. Definitely not as bad as the Handsome Cowboy, but this was almost painful to watch. I didn't even watch it in one day, just like the rest of the series. I watched like the first episode and then stopped for like 4 days because I didn't feel like keeping on watching. At the beginning, I found the main girl really unlikable, but after like a couple of episodes, I realized that I find the main boy unlikable too. Yay! At the beginning of the story, she thinks that he's dating his best friend, who is a guy, and wants to fix him and make him straight. Yikes. At some point, she also accidentally breaks her friend's camera and she kinda steals his money, if I remember correctly. Not cool, sis. Also, after they got together, they were like super lovey-dovey in a stomach-turning way. I wanted them to stop so bad. I didn't even like the second couple because Pascal was annoying too. Also, Chongping only likes Teddy because he's hot. There was such a heavy queer baiting in this show, and that made me pretty mad, so next one. I know I've been so unkind to the first 2 series, but starting from the next one, I also found positive points, even in the ones that I didn't like too much. At position 10, we have The Ambitious Boss, which was the last one, with the main characters Brian and Mantou. Yes. Let me get this straight. The reason why this one is so low in the ranking is because I freaking hate love triangles. And I will never stress this enough. I hate love triangles. This isn't the most annoying one I've seen, but still, the triangle is there and it annoys me. The other reason why I ranked it so low is because of the characters. Mantou is annoying and childish in a very exaggerated way. She doesn't act cute. She just acts like a 3.5-year-old girl. Brian, who also appears in the Badly Politics and is actually very cute there, here he is kind of a douchebag. Except for the last episode in which he comes back to normal randomly. Same goes for Li Tang, with the only difference that he was even worse. The plot revolves around these 3 important families. Mantou is the daughter of a mafia boss. She's in love with Li Tang, but she has to get married with Brian, who is in love with her, but she refuses to marry him. I really don't like the concept of 2 guys fighting for the love of a girl. If I was the girl, I would just ignore both of them because I think it's a very childish thing to do. So yeah, I think it's pretty clear why I didn't like this one. I appreciated the fact that they tried to write a more complex plot comparing to the other series, and that the plot isn't developed all at the end, which is a huge problem of most of the UPRINCE series, but was well distributed in the episodes. Also, I had fun watching the fight scenes, and I kinda liked Mantou's character development. And last but not least, Mantou's family absolutely cracked me up. They were super funny. Number 9. With a 6.5, we have The Gentle Vet with Thesis and Sui Sai. I don't remember how her name was pronounced. I gotta say this, I'm mad because the first 3 episodes were cute as hell. Nothing special, of course, but Kang and Pan Pan had a very nice chemistry, and the show stayed true to its title, The Gentle Vet. Sure, the couple dynamic was the classic het cliché, in which he had to take care of her, so it was pretty unbalanced, but he was super nice, and they were cute. In the last episode though, he kinda forces himself against her. Not cool, bro. The story is basically that she is afraid of the rain because of a past trauma, and he decides to protect her from everything that makes her scared. Part of the plot was definitely recycled into Senior Secret Love Puppy Honey. And also the main character is the same person. I liked how they added so many LGBT characters. Suisai's best friend is a lesbian and has a girlfriend. Her aunt is transgender. And Thesis' best friend is gay. Still, they didn't really portray them in the best way, but I can feel that they tried. I don't want to spoil too much, but I'll just say that it would have been better if the plot revolved around finding who was attacking Suisai and her friend instead of her being convinced that he's gay for the majority of the plot. Next one, at position number 8, we have the Beths Baker with Dash and Renee. I gave this one to a 6.5, but I'm actually sad that I had to give this such a low ranking. But I had high expectations and the series was just bland. Not too bad, not too good, just painfully average. I was excited to see it because the two main actors, Victor and Piglet, are dating in real life. And so I wanted to see how it all started. But the show left me nothing. I didn't understand why Dash and Renee fell in love with each other, except for the fact that they're both good looking. I really didn't feel anything watching them, even though their chemistry was good. They had a very nice kiss scene though, not gonna lie. I expected a kind of slow burn at the beginning, since the plot is basically that they become roommates.
And they were roommates.
Oh my god, they were roommates.
And don't really like each other at first because they are polar opposites. But it felt like they already liked each other at the end of episode 1, so the premise was pointless. I know this series is short, but damn, it's 4 episodes, not 2. So yeah, if the relationship was developed in a better way, this could have been way better. Number 7. The Crazy Artist with Hippie and Mel B. Yes, just like the member of Spice Girls, I guess. So the Crazy Artist has the highest rate on mydramalist.com out of all of the UPRINCEs. So I'm sorry for putting it this low. I noticed that it was like almost everyone's favorite. But it's full of cliches and tropes that are not exactly my thing. It's the love story between Hippie, the singer of a rock band, and Mel B, a science geek. At the beginning, she gets dumped by her boyfriend because they were too much alike. He said so. Hippie assists to the breakup, and since she's wearing a Beatles t-shirt, which are his favorite band, he asks her to date him for 5 days in exchange of the t-shirt. Something like that. It was completely nonsense to me. I don't even remember if this plot is 100% correct. It was something like that. So this is kind of a fake dating trope, but not really, because they were actually dating, but not because they were in love with each other, but they were still dating. It was not fake. I don't know. Although I found him very funny and cute, I also think that he was so cringy. Like every time he said something was rock. Like, girl, you're so rock. Okay? And most of his tattoos were so ugly. I'm sorry, okay? On the other hand, I found Mel B pretty insipid for most of the series, But I did really like her in the last episode. I really don't want to make this spoiler, so I will talk about it vaguely. But the trope that they use in the last episode might be my least favorite cliche ever. It was so 2007 K-drama style. Even though I had to admit that they treated it in a pretty good way and I liked the bittersweet ending, I felt like it was so unnecessary and it completely changed the mood of the whole series. So we are now at half, and in the middle, I decided to put the Bentley politics, in which the main characters are Survey and Cherry Milk. God, I swear this show has the most ridiculous Thai nicknames ever. I love how the Bentley politics takes the UPRINCE concept on a whole other level, since Survey is a literal prince. The story is as cliche as you can imagine. The last 2 episodes literally look like a trashy fanfic that I would have enjoyed in 10th grade. Cherry Milk is a political science student who actually wanted to study fashion, but was forced by her parents to get a degree in political science first. And for a project, she asks the help of her faculty's prince, Survey. The two don't really like each other at the beginning, but they eventually fall in love. Of course. I found this one very cute, but the main problem for me was that most of the personality traits that they had at the beginning were completely erased after they got together. I mean, it's not a problem if they act lovey-dovey after getting together, it's normal. But it was too sudden for me. One day he was bossy and she was stubborn and they fought every minute. And the other day it's unconditional love. Right? How? Why? I kinda missed the part in which they started to like each other. The other thing that I disliked was the number of accidental kisses. I mean, I get it if you use this trope once or twice, but after a while it becomes ridiculous. Something I really liked were the secondary characters. TRex, Brian, and Kwang Noi were adorable. And let's talk about Puimek as Princess Karin. Thank you. At position number 5, we have the Extroverted Humanist with Kiryu and Pinin. Okay, so basically all of the UPRINCEs that I found good at the beginning kinda disappointed me at the last episode. But this one worked the other way around. The first 3 episodes are very mediocre, and if the last one was the same, I would have ranked this one way lower. She's introverted and wants to be left alone, but he starts annoying her until she agrees to spend time with him. He doesn't do it in a bad way, it was just that their whole dynamic was pretty mainstream. But then the storyline takes a turn and there's an issue with an arranged marriage, so the last episode was super fun. With the whole squad, so Kiryu, Kiran, Hawk, Hippie, and First Class joining forces to help Pinin. There's also Godzi in this one and she plays a super fun character. Overall, Kiryu and Pinin were super cute together and I have a soft spot for Janine Weigel. Janine Weigel. I googled her name in German, but I forgot how to pronounce it. I think Weigel, okay? She has such an angelic face and completely unrelated, but I love her music. So if you don't know, she is a great singer and go check her out. And this show introduces First Class and Minute, and I was already whipped for them. What I particularly enjoyed about this one is that both of the main characters rely on other people, talk to them and ask for their advices. Pinin doesn't really have friends, but she talks more than once to Kiryu's brother, Kiran, while Kiryu talks about his problems with both his brother and his friends. I just love people who communicate. Next one, at position number 4, we have the Foxy Pilot with Hawk and Aurora, or how they say it, Olola. This was really good. I found myself pleasantly surprised by this one, considering that it doesn't really have a high score on my drama list. First of all, Aurora is my favorite female character in the whole UPRINCE series. She's kinda the stereotype of the spoiled rich girl, but she's not unlikable at all. She's sweet, honest, she knows what she wants, and she's not afraid to go and get it. Hawk is also a great prince. He's stone-faced and quiet, but he has a pure heart and is super gentle. He's actually a really nice person, and not only towards his love interest, but in general. They have kind of a slow burn, and I love the fact that I can understand why they like each other. Both of them are extremely lonely people. Hawk doesn't show his emotion at all, and Aurora fakes them, but they are kind of in the same situation, and finding each other helps them get better. Basically, in the story, her father tells him to spend time with her in order for him to be accepted in his company. They're just two solitary people who find each other and are eventually able to open to each other. The last episode was kinda underwhelming though. Some things didn't make any sense and it kinda ruined the vibe a little for me. In conclusion, it's pretty cliche, but I liked it a lot. And we are finally in the top 3. At the 3rd position, we have the lovely geologist with TRex and Biplu. This one is a definition of cute. TRex is adorable and sweet, and he's such a happy virus. While Biplu is more of a tsundere. She's pretty grumpy at the beginning. I love their relationship dynamic and I never found it unbalanced. Also, I found that there were some pretty clever conversations, even though TRex acts in a kind of childish way. Nothing problematic ever happens. It's just heartwarming and very cute. The plot is basically that TRex wants to get in her house because there's a specific point in her garden in which he wants to dig a hole. And while he's there, he starts having feelings for her, even though she already has a boyfriend, and she also acts all tough and cold-hearted. I'm not a big fan of the I'll know you until you fall in love with me trope, but here it wasn't irritating, and he still kept distances if she asked. Also, Biplu gets a really satisfying character development, so even if you find her a little bit annoying at the beginning, I'm pretty sure that you will change your mind. At 2nd place, we have the single lawyer with First Class and Minute. Not gonna lie, this had the chance to be in 1st place. If I only consider the couple itself, their storyline and dynamic, I can personally say that they are my favorite. The plot is nothing special, and since I'm watching it in 2020, it reminded me a lot of Richie Rich. Minute is a spoiled rich girl whose family goes bankrupt, and she has to move to her best friend's apartment because he is leaving it to go and live with his boyfriend. But there she has shared it with her best friend's stepbrother, First Class. First Class already caught my attention in Kiryu's series, being so calm and composed, but imposing himself when he had to. He's one of the male leads I've enjoyed the most. He literally made my heart flutter like a 15-year-old girl. And his personality was delightful. He's gentle, attentive, caring, he's a good listener, and he's respectful. On the other hand, Minute is the character that had the best development in the whole UPRINCE series. She was a bitch, in Kiryu's series and slowly improved herself because she realized that she wasn't a good person and actively wanted to change. There's also a gay couple in this. Minut's best friend, BM, and his boyfriend, Pitcher. It wasn't the best, actually. I liked the struggles that they had to face as a gay couple, but at some point, both of them didn't act in a too good of a way. And even though they acknowledged it, they didn't really get to have a redemption arc. Not a satisfying one, at least. And that's why I really think that the UPRINCEs shouldn't have secondary couples. Okay, kind of spoiler alert. The only thing that I actually disliked was the rape. It didn't happen between the two main characters, of course, but I didn't like how it was treated differently when it happened to Minute and when it happened to First Class. So both of the time it wasn't actually rape, it was more of sexual harassment, but it still isn't excusable. The first time when it happens to Minute, they treat it in a very serious way. And even though it gets forgotten a little bit too quickly, they make you realize that it's a very bad thing that you're not supposed to do. But when it happens to First Class, they treat it like a joke almost, only because he's a boy and he could physically push away the girl if he wanted to. I really don't like these kind of things. A male can also be sexually harassed, and that doesn't make him weak or stupid. First Class isn't an impulsive person. He didn't push the girl away, but he was clearly uncomfortable. I just didn't really like that when he said it out loud, Minute laughed. Girl, it's not funny. So that's it. Apart from it, I love their series and them as a couple. Constant is sexy. I loved how he apologized for kissing her, even if he did it in the most slow and gentle way possible. I would really love to see more of them. And position number 1, we have the playful comm-arts with Kiran and Sang. Considering that this has a 7.5 average rating on my drama list, which is pretty low for the website, and that so many people in the comments found Sang unlikable, I didn't really expect anything at all. Well, this is my favorite now. Even though my favorite ship that Fawn had in a series is still Mond in Boy for Rent. Fawn and White work unexpectedly well together. Let me say that objectively, this isn't among the best seasons of UPRINCE, but I personally loved it a lot. The plot doesn't make sense, but it's super fun. It's the only UPRINCE with a supernatural element. Sang gets hit by a tricycle, and since she had a 0.0001% of dying, she gets a second chance on Earth. But every time she touches Kiran, she blacks out and has a premonition about a future interaction of the two of them. Raven style. What? I understand why people may find her unlikable. She's a little bit over the top, but I can't dislike a character played by Fonsa Nantachat. I just like her too much, and all of her characters are so adorable to me. Also, the main characters study cinema. Kiran wants to be a director. White's character always have a thing for movies, huh? And Sang wants to be a screenwriter. And they talk a lot about movies, comics, TV series, and being a fan of cinema and comics too. I just had so much fun watching them. In particular, when Sang made dialogues with herself, pretending to be both Sherlock and Watson. Iconic. I also like the fact that they do talk about why they like each other. And Kiran really wants to be liked for who he is as a person and doesn't want her to like him only because of his looks. Kiran and his younger brother Kiryu's relationship was adorable, and I really loved all of the scenes with the whole squad having fun together while making their university project. And even Renee's scenes being a supportive friend for Sang. It was just so heartwarming for me, and that's why I liked it that much. I genuinely think that if the plot was better written, this could have made a great full-length drama, maybe 8 or 10 episodes. And I'm glad I wasn't influenced by the ratings, because I could literally just go and rewatch it right now. So with this, I finished my ranking. I don't really know why I made this video, I just felt like doing so. Tell me what you think about this series if you've watched it. I'm not sure. I mean, they're pretty popular because like every episode of like even the least watched one has like more than 1 million views, but maybe people kind of forgot them because they're pretty old. I don't know. Also, it doesn't really have anything to do with the other series, but out of the special use stories that we had at the end of every episode, my favorite was definitely the one between Loma and Kevin, who was also a secondary character in the playful comm-arts. They were so cute, and even though it was like a commercial, like a long commercial, it took them, what, like 5 series to get together, something like that. I was very invested in them, and they are played by Plum Pongpisal and Jane Ramida, which I'd never imagined as a couple before, but they do work. So yeah, that's all I had to say for this video. I'm working on the Theory of Love one, but I still have a couple of movies to watch. And the battery of my camera died. Oops. By the way, I was saying that the Theory of Love video is almost ready, but I still have a couple of movies to watch before finishing it. And well, that was all. Thanks for watching this video if you arrived up to this point. Why? And thank you. Remember to like this video, comment if you want to, subscribe if you still haven't, and see you in the next video. Bye bye!